When I was struggling with chronic Lyme disease, when I got sick back in 2005, I spent many years bedridden sick with hundreds of symptoms trying to heal anxiety, depression, anhedonia, depersonalization, derealization, hundreds of physical symptoms, POTS, heart issues, muscle twitches, pain, everything. And I spent so many years doing the wrong thing only to figure out what the right things were. So I want to talk about that in this video. One of the lessons that I realized on my healing journey was that I needed to let go of trying to figure it all out. I just needed to let go. One of the biggest lessons for me was letting go, just letting go in general, but also specifically letting go of trying to figure it all out. I spent years searching the internet, talking to people, researching, being on forums, being in Facebook groups, whatever. And it was this constant search. Why do I feel like this? How do I fix it? And it's a common theme that I hear from people that are struggling with chronic symptoms, chronic illnesses, chronic Lyme, whatever. We all end up going down those rabbit holes. We all end up trying to figure it out. And I'm here to tell you that letting go is one of the most powerful things you can do for your healing journey. Now, if you have obviously some physical things that can be corrected with a treatment, a pill, whatever, fine, take it and just let go when you take it as well. But for most people that are chronically ill, there is nothing. Like doctors are really just kind of taking a shot in the dark. And even the best doctors, like I saw some of the best doctors in the world for Lyme disease, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just trying things like, oh, maybe this will work. Let's try this, antibiotic combo therapy. Let's try these herbs. Let's try these supplements. You might have this going on. Your blood work says this, and it was just, it never got me anywhere. And then there was a shift where I realized that all of this searching and striving and trying to figure it out was actually keeping me sick and making me sicker. And I came across this sort of epiphany after watching The Secret, after diving into sort of energy medicine type things around like the law of attraction, and also just like how what you focus on is what you create and all that sort of stuff. And I realized like, wow, I've just been focused on my poor health and all of that. And it's my dominant focus, and it has been for years. Let me let go and redirect my attention elsewhere. And so I just let go. I let go. I removed myself from all the forums. I removed myself from searching about my illness. I stopped calling myself the illness that I was trying to heal. I stopped giving it my attention. I practiced letting go fully, trusting the universe. Everything that I was doing was wrong. Well, let me just try the opposite and just let go. And let me just tell you something. When I did that, I began to heal. I instead began to devote my attention and energy towards hobbies, towards goals, towards living, towards making peace with where I was and doing my best on a daily basis. And that was freeing. So if you're struggling and you're watching this and you're like, how do I let go? Like I have all of these symptoms. I've been struggling with them. These doctors tell me this. These patients tell me this. Like, how do I let go? You got to set boundaries with people. And this is one of the things that I had to do. Set boundaries with people and with yourself. The boundary I had with myself was no longer am I going to discuss how I feel with other people. No longer am I going to magnify everything and play all of the symptoms. Oh, it's so horrible. It's miserable. I just can't handle this. I'm done with that. Can't do it anymore. No longer am I going to Google my illness. No longer am I going to go onto those forums or those Facebook groups and search it. I am going to remove any friends or hide, those friends that are toxic, that are constantly, feeding into negativity, or not respond to them. That was a boundary that I had to set with myself, just like detaching from that world, detaching from that world completely, and then setting boundaries with other people. Like, hey, I'm choosing to not engage in this type of behavior and this talk anymore. Like, let's lift it up. Let's talk about something positive. If we're not able to do that, man, I'm sorry, just gonna have to like distance myself. This is too heavy. It all has an impact on our nervous systems in our body and energetically. What we focus on, we manifest, we create. What we believe in, we manifest, we create. It's the placebo effect. All of that stuff. What we choose to engage in, what we choose to focus on, we create in a good way. So focus on doing the right things for your body and letting go. That was a lesson that I wish I had learned early on in my journey. That took me years to figure it out. Um, and then that's the other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with this was like, healing is so much more than we realize. We often think we're programmed from a very young age to need to take pills. You got a headache, take Advil. You have pain or whatever, take Advil. You have a stomach upset, take Pepto-Bismol. You have a cold, take NyQuil. And so this perpetuates in when you get a chronic illness. You think, oh, I have a chronic illness, take this. And that was like the worst thing for me too, because I kept outsourcing my health to doctors and pills and all that stuff. And it did me no good. It did me no good. Most doctors and medical establishments, even the best of them, like don't know what they're doing. Like I said, their job is to manage symptoms. With a chronic illness, you can manage some symptoms, but there's an underlying cause. And a lot of doctors will think, hey, I'm getting to the root cause, but will overlook diet, nutrition, will overlook lifestyle, will overlook stress, will overlook the things that like I talked about earlier, like your thoughts, your beliefs, your boundaries, all of those things. And that's truly what healing is, in my opinion, is it's all of the things that we overlook. It is shifting our lifestyle to one that is conducive to healing and then letting go. Like I said, the first thing. So, yes, do some things for yourself. You are chronically ill. Yes, you are struggling with a chronic illness. Yes, you have hundreds of symptoms. It is not just about ignoring it and just pretending that everything's okay. It's about being real. There are some symptoms and things that I'm dealing with. However, instead of trying to treat through fear and force, which is, let me just Google search, I'm going to treat myself and heal myself through self-love. What can I do that would be loving for my body? Well, I'm going to eat a clean anti-inflammatory diet. I'm going to only put food in my body that is loving, that is nourishing, that is anti-inflammatory. Not from a place of fear. This is where I'm not into restrictive diets. I'm not into fad diets, carnivore, keto, none of that stuff, vegan, whatever. Just eat anti-inflammatory, loving to your body. What is that? Cut out all the inflammatory shit, the processed food, the seed oils, the sugars, the refined carbohydrates, and things like that. The non-organic meats and all of that. Often it's getting rid of dairy and gluten for a lot of people in the US. It's like, those things can be really inflammatory for us. And then just replacing it with organic whole foods, lots of plant foods, lots of veggies, organic lean proteins, occasional organic red meats and things like that if you choose to do it. Or you can do it if you're a vegan too. You can eat organic like tempeh and organic beans and legumes and lentils and all of those things. Make sure you're eating like fresh fruits, that are low glycemic, cutting out all the sugars, all of that stuff. If you need help, it's here. Movement, regular movement, walks, light stretching, exercise, all of that stuff. And some of you guys who are bedridden, like I can't move, you can move a little bit to start. Everyone can move a little bit. I've worked with people that are in wheelchairs that move. You can do little things like that. Be mindful of what you focus on. Are you watching the news? Are you engaging in fear and fueling your nervous system dysregulation? Are you consuming content that makes you feel on edge? Or are you watching things that bring you peace, uplifting stuff? Something that I did on my healing journey that really shifted my mindset was I just started reading books and watching like YouTube videos on these like spiritual teachers like Alan Watts. Like Alan Watts, dude, I love Alan Watts. It was always so uplifting and positive, and it was always like, so there's a purpose behind all this, and just making me feel better about my illness. And reading books, from like Eckhart Tolle, like The Power of Now and A New Earth and all of these things, it helped like raise my vibration, if you will, and help me get out of that state of doom and gloom. And there's so many others, that have helped me. And like I said, just doing little things for yourself. Is it loving or is it not? Re-engaging in hobbies and activities that you neglected, even if you feel like crap. These things are all healing. Cutting out stressful people, cutting out unnecessary stress. Sure, if you have work, you have kids, that's just going to be normal stress. But like unnecessary stress, toxicity, toxic lifestyle behaviors, drugs, alcohol, drinking, people pleasing, letting people just kind of walk all over you. This is what really heals, guys. This is what has helped me heal more than anything. And it was all of these lessons that I had to go learn. Now, I took a few supplements and, things here and there. But when I got my nervous system under control, when I practiced lifestyle shifts, let go, and allowed my body to heal, that's when I began to heal. So I don't want to make this much longer. Those are a couple things that I wish I learned early on, guys. For those of you guys that are struggling, letting go is going to be your friend, but also doing the right things for your body through lifestyle shifts, through self-love, self-care, and then you let go, redirect your attention towards the life that you want to create, towards who you want to be, towards goals, towards hobbies, towards activities. Let that illness go. Let the labels go. Let all of it go. Watch what happens in your healing. If you need help, it's out there, guys. This is a lot of what I teach in Heal Club when I work with people one-on-one. And if people are struggling, just know that some of these things you do need to be reminded over and over and over and over and over again. And I had to be reminded too when I was healing, to not fall back into that victim mindset, into Googling, searching, all of that stuff. So it's out here, guys. Shoot me a message, comment below if you guys have any questions.